Welcome to another episode of learning how to use a laser engraver and Lightburn software, where I share my journey with you. In this video, I'll be sharing quite a few things. One of those things being securing the laser engraver by using non-slip fabric underneath the base of the metal plate of the honeycomb grid and under the feet of the laser engraver. So now let's do a frame again and see what happens. I'm noticing now that the perimeter light is not on. So I'm going to go into the settings right now and see if I can get that back. I'm just going to run through how I fixed the laser perimeter light. I contacted the people at Elegoo and they gave me the answer, which was wonderful. So you go into the tools, go down to enable laser fire button. So you just make sure that's green. And then below it, you'll initiate the laser on when framing section. And then you can select a percentage over here of what you would like to see when framing. You want to keep this percentage as low as possible so that you can see it, but you don't leave any marks on the material that you're working with. I'll just put a piece of paper on top of it for a minute. Again, I am just learning this stuff, so try not to make too many mistakes. Ah, ha ha ha! There we go. Laser light is on for framing. I got a piece of paper there, so now we can see if there's any actual power to that. Nope. I did not do anything to the paper. That's good, because that's a nice piece of watercolour paper. Now we're getting somewhere. Wow, that's beautiful. So I'm just going to move the wood a little bit. Without that framing light, I mean, can't really do very much. See it again? Let's see this front part now. Here, along. That's the back up. That's pretty good. Again, I'm going to watch the back of it this time. So each time I frame, I focus on one particular side so that I can see each side lining up nicely. Now the board is in position and the laser is ready. I'm going to get the fan started, just plug that in and get the vent going. And then before I cover it over, I'm going to let it get started so that you can see the beginning of it. First, I am going to go to before I start the burn, I'm going to go back to Lightburn, make a few changes to my design, and show you a few tips that I've learned on making the burn go faster. Back in Lightburn now, I've added a little bit more to my design as I get ready to make the burn. I'm looking at the layers and I'm going to take a look at the preview window to see how long this is going to take to burn. Over here you can see that this is going to take over 3 hours based on the way that it's set up right now. After exploring the program a little bit more and doing some research, I found a few ways to reduce the time it takes to burn a project. I'd like to thank the channel Computer Creations for sharing one or two of these tips. I found it very helpful. In this fast-forwarded preview, you can see that the laser is traveling across the board. And at the end here it works out because it is covering the words, but then you can see that a lot of space is empty. To demonstrate what I've learned so far when it comes to speeding up the burn time, I've increased the passes on this design so that the time is now 6 hours and 15 minutes. Here you can see the time it actually takes for the burn, and then the time that is used up with just traveling across the board. I'm going to go into Edit, then Device Settings, Then I am going to go to this area that says fast white space scan, and I'm going to increase the millimeters per second to as high as it will possibly go for me. Mine goes up to 1500. Now we're going to click OK. And then we're going to check the preview and see how much time we've saved. And we have literally taken off 4 hours. Let's save some more time by going back into the layers. If I look over here at these arrows, they're aiming in one direction. That means the laser burns in one direction. If I click bidirectional fill, the laser will now burn in both directions. I'll click OK, and then I'm going to go up to the preview and see how much more time I've saved. 45 minutes or more. And let's save a little more time. Double clicking the layer, clicking advanced, and then flood fill. This causes the laser to burn in another direction. Let's check again and see if the numbers have come down. Preview. We saved 10 minutes, but it's still a little less time than it was. Let's play the preview and have a little look at how it will burn now. It's burning a little bit more efficiently. I am still on the learning curve. I'm just sharing what I've learned so far. But one thing I did notice is when I click on layers that are just line and not fill, the options are slightly different because a line is already being filled like a flood fill. Let's look at another way that we could potentially speed up the burn. If we double click on the layer and we look here at the lines per inch, you can see that mine says 254. Well, I've experimented with this a little bit, and with some burns I've actually decreased it to as low as 170. That's what I'm going to do for this burn. However, this is a little video clip of another file I saved, so the total number on the preview window won't be accurate, I don't think, to the one that I was working with before. It still reflects, though, that you do save a considerable amount of time by doing this. Obviously, if you're burning less, you're spending less time on it. In the preview window here, it reflects that this would just take 1 hour to burn. Another way to affect the time of the burn is to change the speed, the power, and the passes of the layers. Here I have 3 layers, and this is another version of the file that is currently set at 3 hours long, just to show you how we can make a difference in time by adjusting each layer. The adjustments will of course depend on the type of material you're burning. So down here I have the red layer, and I've increased it to 3 passes, and the green layer also to 3 passes. Now we'll take a look at the preview. And you can see here that this is 3 hours long. So if I reduce these back to 2 passes, and then check the preview, you'll see that we have saved an entire hour. When decreasing your passes, you want to make sure that you're still getting a good burn. So you may want to decrease the speed and increase the power for each layer in order to achieve your goal. This might bring your time up a tiny bit, but not too much. Before adjusting the speed and the power, it's always a good idea to double check the proper settings for the material that you're burning. Now I've decreased the time as much as I can without compromising the quality of the design. It's time to burn the project. Now I'm still on the learning curve, and when I click start, this little box pops up that says cut might be outside of bounds, but because I did a perimeter check and I saw that it was okay, I clicked yes, that it's okay, and the burn starts. So I'm showing you a little bit without the cover on, just so you can see the excitement of it getting started. I do have my goggles on, my eyes are protected. It's really cool to see it on the screen here though. I have the vent running, and I am going to carefully cover this over and make sure all of it vents out. So you can see the smoke at the bottom there, and you can see that the little filter fan there is taking it in. But I am now going to cover the... Oh, that looks really nice. I do like to see this in action. So I'm going to cover this over with this zippered cover, trying not to move the machine at all. I probably should have covered it before, but I wanted to show you the beginnings of it. And I'm going to do this very delicately so as not to disturb the machine very much. I do not want to move anything out of position. This project ended up being 2 hours with all of the passes and the settings that I had chosen. And you can see here the amount of time that's passed and the amount of time that's left to go. 1 hour and 37 minutes along, almost there. The project is now done. It's time to take a look. Let's open up the cover. Try not to move the machine in case I need to redo some areas. This is why I put the non-slip stuff under the feet of the machine and under the honeycomb grid, so that I can move things a little, like move the cover a little bit, like open it without, hopefully without moving the machine. Let's just fold this back very carefully. Okay. Let's take a look. Just want to see how sort of strongly it's burned into the wood. Just want to feel the grooves. Yeah, that's cut in quite nicely. It's not just a burn on the surface, it's actually got a bit of a groove to the words. It's not wiping off. It's not just a surface burn, is what I'm trying to say. I think it's quite sufficient. It's done a good job. I'm happy with this burn, so I am going to remove the project from the honeycomb base here. Okay, let's take a look at the project. This board is a personal design and a gift for a family member. This is why this video will be released after the holidays. This board contains a rhyme that my great uncle used to sing often and is remembered with great affection. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been helpful to somebody. If you're enjoying the videos on this channel and you'd like to help support it, please click the subscribe button. Thank you so much. To find more videos like this one and other creative videos, please go to Art With Janine Liza on YouTube and look for the corresponding playlist. As for the laser engraving, I will continue to share the burn as I learn. See you next time.